What if one lazy morning could cost you everything you ever dreamed of? In a small village, cradled by hills and winding rivers, lived Thomas. The village was simple, with wooden houses, dirt paths, and markets full of life. Every morning, the sun would spill golden light over the fields, waking diligent farmers. Neighbors carried buckets of water, tended their animals, and sowed seeds with care. But Thomas remained in bed, wrapped in blankets, listening to the birds outside. He dreamed of rich harvests, of easy days, yet never lifted a finger. His fields stretched for acres, fertile and promising, yet empty of effort. He would tell himself, "Tomorrow, I will start. Surely, tomorrow will be perfect." But tomorrow always came, and he stayed in bed, wrapped in idleness. Even the river seemed to mock him, its gentle murmurs reminding him of time wasted. The market nearby was a place of whispers and trade, yet Thomas had no goods to sell. His neighbors admired his charm, yet shook their heads at his lack of discipline. Inside his small hut, dust gathered, animals waited for care, and the hearth grew cold. Thomas wandered the day, half awake, hoping life would bend toward him without effort. And in the quiet rhythm of the village, the first seeds of disaster quietly took root. Weeks passed, and Thomas still did nothing to tend his fields. The sun rose and set, marking days he could not reclaim. Neighbors worked tirelessly, plowing, planting, and watering, their hands rough with labor. Thomas watched from his porch, sipping weak tea, feeling a strange mix of envy and guilt. He promised himself again and again, "Tomorrow I will work. Surely, tomorrow." But each tomorrow came, and he remained idle, lost in excuses and distractions. The river whispered past his hut, carrying messages of diligence he refused to hear. One morning, a neighbor named Miguel approached, concern in his eyes. "Thomas, the market opens soon. If your crops aren't ready, you'll lose everything." Thomas smiled lazily, brushing off the warning, thinking he could recover later. Meanwhile, weeds crept into his fields, thick and stubborn, choking the soil. Pests began to feast where he had once hoped for abundance. His small hut, once a cozy shelter, now felt heavy with neglect and unfinished chores. Even the animals seemed restless, their soft cries echoing through the empty rooms. Rumors started to ripple through the village, quiet at first, then growing louder. Neighbors shook their heads, unsure if Thomas would ever change his ways. Each day of delay piled upon the last, small problems turning into serious consequences. One evening, Thomas wandered among the tall weeds, imagining the harvest he had squandered. Every missed task echoed in his mind like a warning he had refused to hear. And beneath the calm rural skies, the weight of his laziness pressed down like a storm. Thomas felt the first sharp taste of regret, though he still clung to hope. He realized he was running out of time, yet could not summon the strength to begin. Every choice deferred, every day wasted, now threatened not only his farm, but his standing in the village. And so, the quiet rhythm of the village continued, growing harsher for Thomas with every passing dawn. The market day arrived, and Thomas had nothing to sell. The village buzzed with life, stalls overflowing with golden grains, fresh vegetables, and fragrant herbs. Neighbors greeted each other with smiles, trading goods and sharing stories of harvest successes. Thomas wandered among them, invisible and empty-handed, a knot of anxiety tightening in his chest. A sudden wind swept across the village square, carrying the scent of rain and wet earth. Dark clouds gathered over the hills, blotting out the sun, and a low rumble of thunder shook the air. Thomas felt a chill creep along his spine, a warning he had ignored for too long. He rushed back to his fields, heart pounding, hoping to salvage what little remained. Weeds had overtaken every row, their thick stems twisting around the dying crops. Pests devoured what seeds had managed to sprout, leaving holes in the soil where life once promised abundance. Raindrops began to fall, soft at first, then heavier, pounding the earth with relentless force. Thomas tried to cover the seedlings, build small barriers, but mud and water flowed faster than his desperate hands. Each attempt ended in futility, his efforts swallowed by the storm. The river nearby swelled, spilling into his fields, washing away his dreams in muddy currents. Neighbors peeked from under their rooftops, some offering words of sympathy, others shaking their heads. Miguel, the neighbor who had warned him weeks ago, stood silently at the edge of the field. "Thomas," he said softly, "this is what happens when time is wasted." Thomas dropped to his knees, soaked to the bone, mud covering his hands and knees. Anger, shame, and fear collided inside him, each emotion sharper than the next. He wanted to scream at the storm, at the river, at himself, but no sound came. The village square emptied as rain fell harder, leaving Thomas alone with ruined soil and broken dreams. He remembered every postponed morning, every excuse, every thought that tomorrow would be better. A rival farmer, once a friend, stepped forward with a cart, claiming the spot Thomas could have filled. Every decision deferred now screamed at him like thunder in the storm. The wind whipped around him, tugging at his soaked clothes, carrying whispers of lost chances. Thomas stayed there, kneeling, listening to the rain battering the earth, realizing fully the cost of laziness. The storm lasted hours, each minute stretching into eternity as he watched what remained of his harvest vanish. By evening, the sky cleared slightly, but the damage was done, fields flattened, seeds lost, hopes shattered. For the first time in his life, Thomas understood the full weight of neglect. And under the bruised skies of the village, he tasted the bitter truth: effort postponed is opportunity destroyed. Days passed after the storm, and Thomas faced the ruins of his farm. The soil was muddy, seeds had been washed away, and weeds tangled everywhere. His small hut felt colder than ever, empty of warmth and idle comfort. The animals looked at him with quiet desperation, their soft cries a constant reminder. Thomas realized that charm and words could not undo months of neglect. He began slowly, first clearing debris, pulling stubborn weeds from the drenched soil. Each motion hurt his aching muscles, yet every action brought a sense of purpose. He repaired fences broken by wind and rain, mended the roof leaking over his bed. Neighbors watched cautiously, some offering hands of help, others silently observing. Thomas greeted them with humility he had never known, asking advice, listening carefully. He began rising at dawn, feeling the chill bite his skin, but welcomed the discipline. Watering, planting, tending animals, each task was tedious, yet necessary, a reminder of past mistakes. Slowly, small sprouts began to appear where seeds had taken root again. Thomas celebrated tiny victories, feeling pride in effort rather than luck or charm. He shared lessons with younger neighbors, speaking gently but firmly. "Start small," he said. "Tend to your work daily, no matter how little it seems. Laziness steals more than crops, it steals your future, your respect, your peace of mind." The village began to accept him back, seeing his efforts transform into tangible results. By the next market, Thomas had something modest to sell, earned through sweat and care. It was not a grand harvest, but it was his own, built from persistence and patience. He understood that time wasted can never be recovered, but effort, even delayed, can rebuild life. Thomas now planned carefully, keeping daily logs of chores, seeds, and animal care. He learned that discipline is not punishment, but a bridge to survival and respect. The storm had been cruel, but it had taught him what no charm or luck ever could. And under calm skies, Thomas finally felt a quiet strength grow within him. He had lost much, yet he gained something far greater, wisdom born from experience. Even in a small village, among simple fields, effort shapes destiny and earns lasting respect. Through steady work and humility, Thomas discovered that discipline is the true seed of success. And as the sun rose over the recovered fields, he knew that nothing, not laziness, not excuses, could steal tomorrow if he worked for it today. Have you ever delayed something important, hoping tomorrow would be easier? Thomas' story shows that laziness steals more than time, it steals opportunities. Start small, take action today, and watch your life change for the better. Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more timeless stories.